welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, you are going to be seeing everything that is bookish. I found out some really good news when it comes to book related that I'm so excited about. You guys will see my reaction and everything like that. But before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So like I said, we're going to be doing everything that is bookish in this video. Again, me researching books, me organizing books. The only thing that I did not do, and it was intentional, was actually go book shopping. And the reason why is I don't have anything right now that I want to buy. Everything that I want is coming out like next year, so they're anticipated reads, which I do need to get my list out, like organized, and I'll show you guys that once I do that. There's not anything in particular that I want, like I just have to have. I would say it's a book that I think I might get. It is a Jenna Bush pick. It's not by a Black author. I'll put the picture up. I think it's called Blue Sisters. And that was kind of intriguing because when Jenna Bush was saying, it kind of gave her a Little Women vibe. I adore Little Women, especially the movie, the 1994 movie. And so when she said that, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get into that. Then I did listen to a little bit of an interview of her. She was describing the book. And then also I went on Audible and listened to a little bit of the excerpt. That kind of intrigued me. So I'm thinking about getting that one. Also, this is really shocking, but I'm thinking about getting that Sally Rooney new book. I'll also put that on the screen, which here's my thing. Yeah. I own only one Sally Rooney book, and it is, okay, wait, it should be easy for me to find because I do separate my books by race. Okay, here it is, this book, and haven't read it and got it on a whim because I did, when I was reading the synopsis at the time, I was like, oh, I think I might kind of can get down with this. But the crazy thing is I don't own her other books, like what, Conversation, whatever that book called, and what's the other one, Normal People. I tried to watch both of those. I tried to watch both of the limited series on Hulu and I just couldn't. And I tried Normal People about 2 times and like within months of each other and couldn't get down with it. But for some reason that book is kind of intriguing me. Those are like the 2 newest books that I am thinking about. Mainly that Blue Sisters. I do think I'm going to get that, and I do have a $5 like reward from Barnes & Noble, but I just want to use it at good use. But I say all that to say, if I don't have any books to buy, I'm not just going to go out to the store and buy any just to have. I'm becoming more intentional when it comes to buying books, when it comes to reading, because as y'all see, this room is filled, okay? And although I do have room on my shelves, what I've been doing is, for the first time, this is the first time this year, I have been unhauling books and, you know, getting rid of them. And I'm so glad I'm doing that, because at one point it was like, oh, I don't want to get rid of it, even if it was like a DNF or if I didn't like the book. I kind of moved past that now, because my thing is, I think it's like, because it doesn't make sense for me to keep it in my collection if I know that I'm not going to read it. There's certain things that I do have in my collection that are like sentimental or kind of like a souvenir type thing, but if I'm not going to read it, there's no point in me keeping it. So yeah. Also, it looks like I'm trying to get into a little urban fiction / erotica kick. I'm currently listening to a book by, I think it's by Zane, and I also put the picture up. It's called, oh Lord, it's called Headbangers, I think, that title. And I'm listening to it. You can listen to it in a day. It's only like 2 hours. I think I have like 58 minutes left, and yeah, so that's currently what I am listening to. So yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more research on some more books, and again, I'll let you guys know if I like them, give you some recommendations and things of that nature. Yeah guys, that's it for now. I am going to do a little bit more reading. I'm going to read this book, Donna Hill, I Am the Way Home, because I did read a little bit like a couple of days ago, and I want to finish this book. Like, today is Tuesday. I want to be at least done with it by Sunday. I'm a slow reader, so I can read something else next week. And I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 books like every week and see if I can slowly get my, you know, TBR down. I think that is doable. I really do think that is doable, especially since I have like the weekend and stuff like that, and I tend to read. I notice I can read a book the whole weekend, so that's good. But yeah, it's Tuesday, it's still early in the week. I read a little bit more of this. So you guys, I just got home, and when I tell you I am so geeked right now, like I was geeked the whole entire day because I found out earlier today that one of my favorite authors, one of them of all times, is finally releasing a book. And when I tell you I'm so excited, first of all, it's Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Y'all know how much I always talk about Chimamanda. I want to tell you guys the synopsis of the story. Again, when I saw that on Instagram, girl, I almost screamed. Okay, you guys know how much I love African literature. Always say if you are in a reading slump, African literature will get you out of that reading slump. Also I know for me, it's African literature, it is urban fiction, and now romance. But let's go back to the African literature. Okay, so the book is called, I'll put it up on the screen too. It's called Dream Count, and it is expected to come out March 4th, 2025. Now, you can pre-order it, and I know that pre-ordering books is actually really good for the author, like the sales, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I personally like to, like, when the book is out, I like to go to the bookstore to get the book. I like that instant gratification where I go into the store, I look at the book, I turn it around, and then I go and pay for it. I like that experience. I did that, I remember, with House of Eve by Sadiko Johnson, and you guys saw me actually pick up the book and talk about it when it came out last year, I believe. But yeah, again, it does help the author like tremendously, but for me, I don't want to pre-order the book. I want to get it, like I actually want to go into the store. That's the thing. And then, I mean, Chimamanda don't need help selling books. Let's just be honest with that. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, it says this novel is a reflection of love, desire, and womanhood explored through the lives of four distant women. Readers are introduced to, oh Lord, I'm gonna butcher these names. Shamaka, a Nigerian travel writer, resides in America who, amongst the pandemic, finds herself reflecting on her past lovers and the choices she made. Zecora, Shamaka's best friend and a successful lawyer, faces a devastating betrayal and must confront the unexpected challenges of her new reality. Oh Lord. Amalogor, Shamaka's outspoken cousin of a financial powerhouse in Nigeria, starts questioning her understanding of herself. And Kadato, Shamaka's housekeeper who takes pride in raising her daughter in America, faces an unimaginable hardship that puts all she has worked for at risk. The novel is a powerful exploration of the complexities of love and happiness and the ways we navigate life's choices and relationships. With her signature eloquence, readers can expect a narrative that answers life's most profound questions. Is true happiness ever attainable? This will mark Chimamanda's first feature-length novel since Americana, published in 2013. Her previous works include Purple Hibiscus, Half of a Yellow Sun. Last year, she debuted her children's book, Mama's Sleeping Scarf. You guys already know I'm going to do a reading vlog on this book because it's going to be my anticipated read for 2025. So I already have one book for 2025. Now, if you guys read the short story Sakura, that was what? In 2020, I remember she did the Amazon shorts, and that story, it ended in a cliffhanger, okay? And I remember I always wondered, was she going to revive that story or whatever? And during 2020, during the pandemic, she did like a live read along of Half the Yellow Sun. And I remember the last live that she did, she used to do on my Instagram live, someone asked her about that story and she was like, oh, it's going to be a continuation, but that was it. So I always kept my hopes up, like, okay, well, she did say she's going to continue it because it is a cliffhanger. It is about a young Nigerian girl. She ends up meeting this, is he an attorney or something? I think she's an attorney. Yeah, she's a attorney, yeah. And they meet up, they get together, have a relationship, she gets pregnant, and then that's it. He just vanishes. And then in that story too, she has like a mother that is just, oh, that mother was, it was a lot. The audio version is fantastic. When I tell you, I listened to that so many times. Now it's like I want to listen to it. And then I do know before I start, and I do know before the book comes out next year, I am going to listen to that story again. Because if you guys have not read that short story, I would highly recommend you guys read that. It is unbelievable. Y'all know Chimamanda, I mean, she can write. Like I said before, if Chimamanda come up with a coloring book, I will be getting it. I have all of Chimamanda's books, including her children's book, because I actually won it off of Goodreads. I always like enter those Goodreads giveaways, like if I'm interested in the book, and surprisingly I actually won that book. It's such a cute story. But yeah, I've been waiting for Chimamanda to come out with another book, okay, like a full-length novel, because Zecora, that's a short story. It was like a tease, and then she did come out with, like, I think in 2020 or 2021, she came up with it's a nonfiction book. It's talking about grief, because unfortunately it's so sad, but both of her parents died like within like a year or something like that. She did publish like a collection of, it's almost like essays or whatever. It's really good. If you are a person that is, you know, grieving, I would recommend the book. It is, let me show you guys. This book is called Notes of Grief, and it's very, very short. It literally is only like 60 something pages, but she does talk about, you know, grieving at this point. It was just her father, because her mother hadn't died yet, and then a year ago her mother died. But when she wrote this book and came out with this book, her father had passed, and she was really, really, really close to her father. So yeah, again, if you are grieving, this is a really good book to pick up. Yeah, guys, I just wanted to tell you that, because when because I was just so excited when I saw that today at work. I'm like, are you kidding me? Finally. They said since 2013. How many years ago was that? Girl, that's like 11 years. Yeah, but they did say it took her a decade, you know, to write it. So I am so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited, as you guys can see. But yeah, let me get back to reading Donna Hill's book. Okay, you guys, so I am in a cleaning mood. I literally just got done vacuuming, cleaning my bathroom. So I'm like, you know what? Since I have a little bit of the energy, let me go and take the plastic off of these books that I got from a library sale. I showed you guys this in one of my, like birthday hauls or something like that. Because I did get these last month. 3 of these books from my local library. I always make sure that I go to library sales, because the books are always really, really cheap. Of course, you're helping out your local library, and then look, my tax dollars pay for it. But for these, like I told you guys, I got them basically for free. They're just trying to get rid of as much books as they could. Well, if you want to leave a, you know, donation, you can. So I end up like giving them $5. But yes, that's where I get a lot of children's books, and a lot of like books that sometimes they're not in print, or they're hard to find in like a Barnes and Noble. They're hard to find in like a Barnes and Noble or Books A Million, you know, things like that. So, but I don't like the plastic on the, you know, the books, so I always get rid of that. And like they, you know, they tape it and everything. Again, that plastic drives me crazy. And I gotta be careful because I don't want to ruin the cover. Ooh, this book is really pretty. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? The gold like foiling on the letters. Nice. Yes, and then this is African literature. So for right now, let me just put that right there, and then let's do these next two. Alright, so finish these. Let's now go and they look so much better. So much better. This cover is so pretty. I was thinking about doing a, what do you call it, unhaul. I thought about it today when I was at work. I did one, I want to say, was it last month? I did an unhaul of books that I'm not reading, and I still have the whole bag in my living room. I need to put that in my car at least to take it to Second and Charles. That's usually where I take it because they give you like either store credit or cash, and I've learned I always take the store credit because they give you nothing for those books. I remember I had 2 bags of books and they took like almost all of them, and they gave me 14, they offered me, I think, $14 or something like that. I'm like, yeah, no, I just get a store credit, and it ended up working out really well because I was buying books, and because I was already buying books, and so I just like used the store credit, and I only had to add like a couple of dollars, to purchase. But yeah, they don't give you no money back, so I usually, will do that. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna do an unhaul. I think I'm going to tackle the YA section, which is over there. There's some books. I know in particular it's a poetry book that I haven't even read, and I know I'm not going to read. I'm not into poetry like that. I always say I want to get into it. I just like 3 or 4 poets, like Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou. Who else? I like Paul Laurence Dunbar. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm not really into poetry, so there is some YA that I want to get, I think, rid of. But I'm like, I don't think my shelves, they don't need any like redoing again, because you guys know I categorize it in genre, and I categorize it by genre and by author. So like this section is all autobiographies, and then this right here is like nonfiction. I think this is more autobiographies. It really should be autobiographies, and then put like nonfiction. I just gotta like actually flip this, but I don't feel like doing that. So yeah, one day I'll do it. And then this right here is slave narratives or slavery theme books. Like this right here is like some women literature. I have Maya, Toni, Alice, Dorothy, West. And I just find it so much easier for me to find books. I know exactly where everything is if I do categorize it like that. So I know like this right here, this and this is African, Down here, that's some Caribbean. Right here is like black male literature. So it just makes it easier, especially for me, since I have like, at one point it was like 950 books or something like that. One of these days I'm going to see again how many books I have. Like I said, last month I did do an on haul, and I'm going to do one like right now. So I was trying to get to 1,000 books, which I know eventually I will, but my thing is books that I'm not reading, I don't want to just keep them. I'm not in that mode anymore. When I first started like, getting into literature, I just, everything that was like by a black author, I automatically picked up. I don't do that now. Only time I like pick something up like that if it's like a collector's item or something, and I kind of know I'm not gonna read it, but I want to have it. So for example, President Barack Obama, but I know I'm not gonna read this book. But guys, guess where I got this book from? A library sale, and guess how much I paid for it? $1. As opposed to, how much was this book? Girl, this book was $45 when it came out. Yeah, no, again, I wanted it. It's a collector's item. It's a first edition. Obama's book, her first book, Becoming, came out. I remember buying this like the day that it came out. And that's when I really was getting into reading. And y'all know nonfiction is just not, that's not my ministry. But I'm like, of course I wanted to have this, and I started it and it really didn't do anything for me. But I think I should read it, try to read it again, because now, I know myself, I know my reading. I'm a little bit older now. But yeah, like I think I might read this, but again, it's a collector's item, it's a first edition. Like those are like examples. I haven't read it and I'm like, one day I'm gonna read this. I really am. Because it was just so significant where it came out in like a couple of, was it like a week or two where she ended up passing? And I'm a fan of Cicely Tyson. I mean, come on now, it's Cicely Tyson. So yeah, but where am I gonna put this? This is he Caribbean? Yes, he is. So that goes over here, and what I'm gonna do is, because it's like Caribbean, and then right here I just have to add like some more women fiction because I didn't have space. But you know what? I got space down here. So yeah. Actually, wait now. Put this like, I kind of like my books to line up a tiny bit. And then this book. Oh, this is African literature, like I said. Caribbean. Okay, so wait, we're gonna have to move these again so I can put this somewhere. This was on my TBR last year. Started it, got distracted, never finished it. It is Andrea Levy, Small Island. She's known for this. As you can see, I started it. And I wanted to read this because there is a series that was on BBC, and it starred the actress Naomi. Oh, what's that lady girl? Naomi Harris. And I remember I was obsessed with her at one point. I was watching all of her movies. She is a British actress. She's known for she was nominated for the Academy Award movie Moonlight. Is it Moonlight? I did see that and she did a fantastic job. But I was gonna like watch the series, well, read the book then watch the series, but I've had a hard time trying to get the series. I think I would have to do that Britpop. That's like a subscription, but I'm like, girl, another subscription. So, yeah, but this was on my TBR. I think what I might do is I might listen to this. And you know what? I already see a book that I think I'm gonna just I'm gonna get rid of, and I'm just looking at it now. It's this. I remember when this came out, it was a big deal, obviously. And Hulu, was it last year? They did a TV series of this, and I watched it and was a little bit intrigued. I did watch the full series, so it did catch my attention. And I remember I went to Walmart and it was on that, they have, Walmart has that bin of like, clearance books or whatever, and I only paid $6 for it. But I realized after watching the TV series, which I know, they didn't, explore all of the book, but still, you got a good gist. You got a good gist of the book and the story. Because it has a little bit of a horror aspect, and I'm just not down with that. But I'm not gonna read this. I just don't want to have this just to have it. We getting rid of this. I'm gonna put it in this little bucket that I got from the dollar store. So let me just look around. I know I'm not getting rid of any of these. I think I might get rid of this. This is Mbola Mbwe. She is an African novelist. She wrote Behold the Dreamers, which I absolutely love. It's her debut novel. It was an Oprah pick, and it was, oh my gosh, it was so, so good. I remember after reading this, I was like, anything she, writes, I'm getting it. So I got this, and I couldn't get down with it. It's about, I think, a fictional town or village, and their water, it's like a pipeline that, and the water is like contaminated, and I think the people in America, it's like they know it's an American oil company, and they know that it's harming the village, it's harming the people, and yeah. But it just was so, to me, I couldn't get into it, and it was just boring. No, I'm not gonna read that. Girl, I mean, books are just dropping. There's nothing I want to get rid of over there. Well, actually, this, I know I'm not gonna read this. Somebody sent this to me. American presidential parties. It's at the time where I would just, every time somebody would send me something, I would be like, yeah. And yeah. Let's go to the YA section. So this is the middle grade and YA section. This is like the whole shelf. So this is the book I was talking about. Actually, they sent this to me. The publishing house. What is this? Imprint. Get underline. Yeah. Pretty cover. But I'm not going to read this. This too, which I was kind of disappointed in. I'm like, y'all know YA it's a love-hate relationship. When I pick up a YA book and when I like read it and get a good story on this kick, I'm like, I want to read another one right after. And then I will look something up, go to the store, pick something that intrigues me, and then once I start reading and it doesn't do anything for me, then I'm like, yeah. That's how it works. So because I think this is also a sequel to this book. I just love the cover. Look at this cover. Teen Wizard. I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off. Okay. Let's hold off on that one. This one, also poetry. And they also sent this to me. Now, she wrote because she's known for poetry, Mahogany L. Brown. She also wrote a novel, and this is one of my favorite, like, YA novels. And first of all, look at the cover. That's why I have it displayed. I remember when I got this, it's like, I have to have it displayed because it's just so pretty. But I love this. I haven't really read any poems from this, but I love this cover too. Let's wait. I'm gonna wait for this too, Lord. Because you know why? I'm like, well, I have both of our books, so I don't want to. Girl, you're not gonna read this. Why are you even doing that? Okay. Let's see. Black Kids. Yeah, I do want to read this. I know, because it's about the riots, LA riots in the 90s. So I think all these, these I know I'm keeping. Love it, the cover, but started it, didn't finish it. It wasn't doing anything for me. It's a black girl, clearly. She is entering her first year of college. And I know she's Nigerian. And yeah, I think, ooh, I forgot I had this bookmark. Oh my God, my Golden Girl bookmark. Oh. I know why I couldn't get into this. Look at the way it's like written. So it's just, yeah, it's not gonna work for me. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of this. I hate it because the cover's so pretty, but I don't want to keep books I know that I'm not going to read. This is on my TBR for this year, and I started it, and I just couldn't get into it. Alright, that's all we're doing for the YA and middle grade. I didn't have a ton to get rid of, because again, that's not a genre that I just read all the time. but I never know if I want to, you know, it's a good YA book that comes out that I want to get. So, I mean, I was able to get some books off on that, you know, these shelves. So that's good. I got a little bit more. I got some room. Trying to find, oh, there it is. I already got it. I think I might start this tonight. I told you guys, let me sit down. Oh yeah, I do think I'm gonna start this tonight actually, because I wanted to read this in October for, you know, like Halloween. Mysteries are my version of things that are scary because I don't do any horror, I don't do Halloween, I don't do none of that. So this was one of my anticipated reads for this year, and it is a series, a 3-book series so far. I don't know if this is gonna be the last one. I should look at the author's what do you call it, Instagram, and see. Really excited to read this because I remember this was the second book and it was like a cliffhanger. I also like this series too because she kind of a little bit bites off of like the Gatsby feel, meaning like the time period. I mean, nobody can write like F. Scott Fitzgerald, okay? Like Gatsby is a masterpiece, and you know, by mine. But yeah, it kind of gives me that, and it was so crazy because one of the characters, she said that it was like her Gatsby character. I was like, oh, okay, I can kind of see that a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna start this tonight, and I need to start. I already started it, but I need to, which I'll do. I may do that tonight too, because I haven't picked up a book in a week, y'all. I think the last one I read was on maybe Sunday. But yeah, I'm gonna start that. So, lastly, I want to tell you guys about the 2 books that I am reading. I think the last time I talked to you guys, I was going to start A Lethal Lady, the Harlem Renaissance mystery novel, which so far I do like. I've only got to page 24, and it's already jumped into like her trying to help another person get discovered, basically. She didn't waste any time. I was looking at some comments on Goodreads, trying not to look at like spoilers, of course. But I have been on this Law and Order kick I told you guys last month, and I've been like watching it since, and I've been watching it since then. I just got done watching an episode right when I came home, had my dinner, and I just watched a really good one. But I think this, but I have that mindset of like trying to figure out who done it. And you know, like when Law and Order, that's basically the gist of it. It's like, it's like a mystery when you really think about it, because you're going to go through like the whole process of trying to find who was a person that committed this crime, you know, again, who done it. And then the next one I am reading is, I got pretty far on this one, excuse me, is I Am Aya, The Way Home by Donna Hill. And this is this book came out last year, and it's set in Sag Harbor, and you have a young girl. She is like estranged from her father. She gets a phone call that he is sick, and so she goes back home. She lives in New York. She lives in New York City. Yeah, that's basically all I know. I do know some family secrets and things like that, things of that nature is going to come out. So that's the part that I'm really intrigued by. And then you guys know I talk about Donna Hill so much because I discovered her writing about 2 or 3 years ago, and ever since then she has been on like my TBR list. This is all of her books, you guys. She has so many books. She has series and everything. This author, her writing is incredible. So these are the 2 books that I have been working on, and that's basically it. Again, I'm gonna read a little bit and then I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm tired. That Law and Order episode wore me out, so I just need to kind of calm down my mind, go in my bedroom, read a little bit, and then, you know, get in the shower and go to sleep. So yeah, guys, that is it when it comes to this video. You guys just saw me doing the, you know, regular bookish things. I am still so geeked about that Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie book that's coming out in March. Oh my gosh, y'all, I have been waiting for that, okay? I have been waiting for her to come out with a book, and she's finally coming out with one. Oh, no, I'm like, I need to listen to Zakora, but I gotta focus. Yeah, guys, again, that's all I have for you, and I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.